Tonight on CFTK-TV News, Haida residents are reportedly being terrorized by a man. BC post-secondary schools are adapting to budget cuts, and BC has approved route amendments to the PRGT pipeline.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Good evening, I'm Cael Maslin, and here's what's making the news in the Northwest and beyond for today. A pipeline that has seen significant opposition has made headway in its permitting process by being granted permission to change the route in a portion of the northeastern section. CFTK-TV's Cael Maslin explains.
In another step forwards for the contentious PRGT pipeline project, the BC government has approved an amendment that requested a newer, shorter route without needing a new environmental certificate. But this shorter route includes some clauses intended to be more forgiving on the local ecosystems. The option is to reroute approximately 172 kilometers of the northeastern section of the proposed pipeline route. The change shortens it, establishing a new starting point approximately 37 kilometers west of Chetwynd and reconnecting with the approved route about 50 kilometers southwest of Mackenzie. The amendment also includes a new electric or gas-powered compressor station at the start. The EAO identified 7 key issues and effects related to the amendment application: caribou, grizzly bear, freshwater resources, air quality, vegetation, cumulative effects, and effects of PRGT on First Nations rights. The EAO says 6 conditions were added regarding caribou, grizzly bears, and cumulative effects. In his conclusion, Chief Executive Assessment Officer Alex McLennan identifies that the EAO sought consensus with 8 First Nations during the amendment process. He identifies the Salto First Nation as being in support, but he says consensus was not reached by all nations consulted. Here in the Northwest, some local nations and advocates have also loudly voiced concerns on the overall project.
Dear BC government, please come to our communities and sit down and talk with us, because we are not convinced at all that this is good for anyone, including the province, including Canada, and definitely not for the communities here. And people are rising up. There is a lot of anger, resentment, and frustration because reasonable questions have been asked and have gone unanswered for way too long. And to Minister Tamara Davidson, I think you probably want to make a better decision. I think you probably might even understand where we're coming from. So come here and sit with us and listen and see for yourself.
Following a 9-month consultation process on the changes to that section, McLennan says the amendment is approved. For CFTK-TV News in Terrace, I'm Cael Maslin.
People living in Macedon, Haida say one man is terrorizing their small town and claim authorities aren't doing enough to stop him. As CTV's Kevin Chirac reports, a hereditary chief is speaking out after he and his son were attacked with a large axe.
My son was just millimeters away from having his brains bashed in.
Darren Swanson recalls the horrifying scene Thursday night in Masset.
This is a splitting mall.
When he says a neighbor with a history of trouble attacked him and his son.
He swung at me twice and missed. And then on the third try, when he was reloading, my son tackled him from behind and threw him to the ground, and we both sat on him until the police came.
The weapon grazed his son's face. The man was arrested, but residents say he's been terrorizing the town for years.
We've had interactions with him going back, I think, 5 years now.
This couple says they've been threatened in the past and went to police just days before the attack.
I'm a wreck nonstop. I don't know if you're going to put this out there or not, but we have protection nonstop for over the last 5 years.
I look over my shoulder in my own yard.
The man faced multiple charges in recent years, including uttering threats, breaching probation, and assault. We are not naming him because he has not been charged in this case. In a statement to CTV News, RCMP said, "We will relentlessly pursue those who hinder safety in our community. We ask all those who are witness or are a victim of a crime to report it." RCMP say they'll be recommending multiple charges, but for now, the man's been released on strict conditions. What those are is unclear, and that's left Swanson and others on edge.
Is this guy going to sneak out and try to burn my house down? Who knows? Definitely mentally unstable, this person. I've actually bought shotguns to keep nearby.
What concerns me is the fact that he's done this again, and he has been released on strict conditions, which mean nothing because he doesn't follow them, and there's no repercussions for not following them.
Swanson has escalated the issue to Crown Council and local government leaders demanding justice.
It's really frustrating to live in a society like this.
RCMP denied our request for an interview. The suspect is due in court next month. Kevin Chirac, CTV News.
The Smithers RCMP recently disclosed on their website that they executed a search warrant at a residence in the Hudson Bay Mobile Home Park during the waiting days of August. The officers conducting the search ended up discovering and seizing various firearms and ammunition. The RCMP clarified that despite the presence of the firearms, this search was managed as a non-active threat, meaning that the public was not in danger even with the risk factors being present. An individual that may have witnessed an incident prior to the search warrant's execution is also being asked to contact the Smithers RCMP at 250-847-3233 so that they can speak to them. Coming up next, a fishing spot in Chilliwack saw a brawl break out. Welcome back. Back to school has post-secondary schools across the province scrambling to adapt to budget cuts. Some orientation events are being trimmed and campus services are being greatly reduced. As CTV's Yasmin Gandhi reports, students are now calling on the province to step up.
The first day of the fall semester for Vancouver Community College faculty started with an email.
We're just getting 31 layoff notices this morning, which will take effect on January 2nd.
Faculty in 6 different departments have received notice that this will be their last semester. It comes amid the federal government's cap on international students. This year alone, VCC has had 3 rounds of layoffs.
I've been around a few decades, and this is the worst round of cuts affecting the most institutions that I've ever seen.
Students are also feeling the impacts of budget cuts. UBC has had to cut orientation events and campus services.
If they're not getting the right supports in terms of mental health or physical health, like that, the supports that they can actually get in classrooms or the campus experience, then students are not going to be able to graduate.
Even more specific programming that allows cohorts to meet each other and to discover the resources that are available to them is either no longer there or the group sizes have potentially up to doubled.
Now the BC Federation of Students is calling on the province to restore public funding of the post-secondary system to at least 75% of operating budgets.
They're paying more and they're getting less.
BCFS says over the past decade, tuition fees from international students have been used to replace public funding.
You have to remember, international students aren't paying $2,000 a semester for tuition. They're paying $10,000 or more a semester for tuition.
CTV reached out to the province for comment, but did not hear back in time for broadcast.
So students are currently the shock absorbers for government cuts.
For many, the usual back-to-school excitement now comes with serious concerns and changes in an already overwhelming time. Yasmin Gandhi, CTV News, Vancouver.
The start of school means busy crosswalks, credit drop-off zones, and lower speed limits are in effect once again. Drivers are being urged to take extra care. CTV's Reagan Hasegawa has more on what's being done to keep children safe as they head back to class.
Many kids are excited to be reunited with their friends and teachers today, but that buzz can also lead to distractions. And because of that, officials are reminding drivers to slow down, especially in school zones.
There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of nervousness. I think it's important to expect the unexpected when driving in and around our schools. You know, we're still in the summer. It's not officially over, but, you know, we're used to the last couple of months of not a lot going on in and around the schools. That changes considerably this week, the rest of the month, and throughout the school year. There will be lots going on. And it starts with you.
30 and 40 km/h school zones are back in effect, and parents should follow all drop-off and pickup rules. The City of Vancouver is also expanding safety initiatives, new slow zone signs and markings, the walking school bus program to reduce congestion, and temporarily blocking traffic in front of select schools. ICBC says road safety is particularly important right now. Its survey shows nearly 1 in 3 drivers admits to speeding in school zones at least some of the time. September is also the riskiest month of the year, with about 50 children injured while walking or biking across BC. For many kids, the first day is bittersweet.
Excited to be going back to my school, but also I'm sad summer's over because I had such a great time.
Drivers are also being reminded to yield to buses, watch out for kids crossing mid-block, and avoid distractions behind the wheel. And with construction causing traffic congestion across Vancouver, the best advice is to give yourself some extra time. Reagan Hasegawa, CTV News, Vancouver.
A rare recreational fishing opportunity for anglers on the Fraser River wrapped up over the long weekend, but not before a bloody brawl broke out in Chilliwack. CTV's Ben Milger now with video of the altercation and reaction from other fishers, and a warning, some viewers may find that video disturbing.
There's a lot of fish in the river and everyone's catching them, as you can see, and yeah, it's just great being out here in the sun with our families.
This is what a day fishing on the Fraser River should look like. But on Sunday, some anglers in Chilliwack could not get along.
It's okay.
A bloody brawl broke out, including multiple combatants, and one bleeding man being punched repeatedly as he lay on his back on the rocky riverbank.
Really disappointed. That's not what the West Coast anglers and fishing community is all about. Yeah, that should never have happened.
No fish is worth a f***ing assault charge!
The man who shared the video with CTV News says the altercation began as an argument over a pink salmon and quickly escalated to include more than half a dozen people. The Department of Fisheries and Oceans initially predicted a return of less than 3 million Fraser River sockeye, but as the fish started to come back, revised that number to nearly 10 million. As a result, it authorized First Nations commercial and recreational fisheries. It's the first time in years any of the groups have been allowed to target sockeye.
Oh, there you go.
The recreational fishery, which opened August 22nd, ended on Monday. While it was open, each licensed person was allowed to catch and keep 2 sockeye and 4 pink salmon each per day. Fishers say it's unfortunate the brawl tarnished an otherwise bountiful few weeks on the river.
You know, to spoil it over a disagreement and an argument like that is just, it's really disappointing as a business owner, as an angler, as a British Columbian, as a fisherman.
Chilliwack RCMP say nobody reported the brawl, so at this point it doesn't appear any of the men involved will face consequences. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
And now we take a look at both your nightly and weekly weather forecast. On the north coast, tonight's forecast expects periods of drizzle and a low at 14 degrees, while the weekly forecast predicts some clouds and rain to start before a couple of mixed sun and cloud days and then one purely sunny day, with the high moving from 17 to 15 degrees. In the Terrace-Kitimat area, there should be a few clouds tonight and a low of 16 degrees, while the upcoming week calls for mostly sunny days with a rainy day in the middle and a mixed condition day at the end, as their high bounces between 28 and 20 degrees. And in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, their night should see clear conditions at a low of 7 degrees, and the rest of the week is likely to be almost all sun outside of a rainy day at the end, with the high shifting from 28 to 23 degrees. Checking out the highways now, visit Drive BC for the latest and up-to-date conditions, and as always, drive safe out there. Highway 16 has construction work, bridge maintenance, utility work, a special event planned, road maintenance work, paving operations, other maintenance, and the Usk Ferry is currently out of service due to the low river level. Highway 37 has bridge construction and construction work planned. Highway 37A is still dealing with falling rocks between west of Mizziatin and east of Stewart, alongside paving operations and bridge maintenance, and the Nishka Highway has some road construction work. And this is what the roads were looking like this afternoon around the region from the view of the province's highway cams. Still to come, Donald Trump faced a setback in his tariff strategy. Welcome back. Tariffs remain top of mind as U.S. President Donald Trump's strategy faces a legal setback. A federal appeals court ruled on Friday that his tariffs are illegal. CTV's Rachel Aiello looks at what this could mean for Canada as Ottawa drops counter-duties.
The start of September marked the end of Canada's counter tariffs on U.S. goods covered under CUSMA. But today, Donald Trump showed no signs of reciprocating. The U.S. president is preparing to defend his global tariff regime before the Supreme Court.
Because without the tariffs, this country is in serious, serious trouble.
Trump standing by his trade tactics comes as one cabinet minister asserted today that despite dropping retaliatory tariffs, Prime Minister Mark Carney hasn't put his elbows down.
There's no capitulation. Let's be clear. Zero. Never, never. That's not happening. We're trying to match exactly what the Americans have done.
And trade talks are ongoing.
It's a complicated negotiation.
That negotiation will be a central focus as Carney convenes his cabinet in the GTA. Starting tomorrow, the Prime Minister and his front bench will be planning fall priorities, from preparing for the CUSMA review and supporting tariff-impacted sectors to fast-tracking big projects.
A sad chapter for the Toronto Police has finally ended. More than 2 years after a beloved police dog was fatally shot, his killer has been sentenced. Bingo died in the line of duty, shot and killed while searching for a suspect. As CTV's John Woodward reports, body cam video of that day was played in court. And a warning, some of the details are disturbing.
This video shows the last minutes of the life of Bingo, the police service dog.
Nobody else has come through your backyard?
It's July 25th, 2023. Bingo is working with his handler, Sergeant Brandon Smith, to arrest a man named Kenneth Grant. Grant was on the run. Superior Court heard he had just shot and killed his daughter's on-again, off-again boyfriend after a dispute. And Bingo had just picked up Grant's scent. The dog rushes into the bush in a residential area near Kipling and Dixon Road.
Hey, come out!
Seconds later, gunshots can be heard on the video. The handler calls for Bingo, but Bingo doesn't come out. His leash is slack.
I need the medics! My dog's down!
Bingo had been shot in the face by Grant, who unloaded several rounds into the residential area. Police fired back, shooting Grant twice in the leg and buttocks. Grant was arrested.
The video was played in court last week and released Tuesday. Grant pleaded guilty to the manslaughter of Sophonius Haley, as well as 3 gun charges and to killing a service animal.
Justice Maureen Forstell agreed with the joint submission from Crown Counsel and Defense that 14 years was the right sentence. Forstell said this was not a reckless act, but a deliberate one. It was a cowardly, callous act towards an innocent animal taken for the sole purpose of escaping apprehension. Bingo was honored in a procession after his death. The Toronto Police saying in a social media post, "This case is a stark reminder of the dangers our members face in protecting our city. Bingo was killed in the line of duty, shielding his handler and fellow officers. He will always be remembered as a hero." Smith himself joined by at least a dozen members of the Toronto K-9 unit, an emotional day for all of them.
He's never going to forget Bingo.
The Toronto Police Association president Clayton Campbell said Smith was coping.
A very dangerous situation, but again, we're very proud of our police dog services. They're part of our policing family.
A family that's still missing one of their own. John Woodward, CTV News.
And now we turn our attention to how the stock markets are looking as of today compared to yesterday. The Canadian dollar is down to 1/100 of a cent. The price of gold is up $43.30. Oil is down $1.62. Natural gas is up 6 cents. Aluminum is up $2. In Toronto, the TSX is up 135.74 points. The Venture Index is up 1.87. In New York, the Dow Jones is down 24.58, and Nasdaq is up 218.10. Still ahead is a look at what to do to protect your digital wallet if you lose your phone. Welcome back. Whether you're buying lunch or movie tickets, more people are using their phones to pay instead of cards or cash. Having a digital wallet is convenient, but what happens if your phone goes missing or falls into the wrong hands? CTV's Pat Ford reports.
It's something more of us are doing on a daily basis, paying for items using a smartphone. Digital wallets are fast and convenient.
I can just take it anywhere, whether it's on my phone or on my watch. I know that I always have something to pay with.
But not everyone is convinced it's the best option.
I feel more secure, or just go the old-fashioned ways, use cash.
While opinions differ, there's no question digital wallets are catching on. Once set up, payments are a breeze.
Wherever you go, whatever kind of payment system they require, all you need to do is pull out your phone. No need for cash, no need for plastic.
A Consumer Reports survey found 4 in 10 consumers use their digital wallet at least once a week, but that convenience may come with risks, because if someone gets into your digital wallet, they could access your money in seconds.
There are security features that are built into both your phone as well as the wallet app on it, but they're not always turned on by default.
You want to make sure your digital wallet is locked. Set it so you need a face scan, fingerprint, or passcode to make a payment. You may need to turn these features on. If your phone goes missing, make sure it can be found remotely so you can erase all your data before someone else gets to it. On an iPhone, go to Settings, tap your name, then Find My, and make sure Find My iPhone is on. If you have an Android phone, it's called Find My Device. Just sign in with your Google account and it's enabled automatically.
If you haven't activated it, you need to, and you should practice it. Do a test run to make sure that if the worst happens, you're ready.
And watch out for scams. They're on the rise.
Scams involving digital wallet payment apps have become a serious problem. Some consumers have lost thousands of dollars. So it's important to stay vigilant to avoid becoming a victim.
To lower your risk, turn on transaction alerts for every purchase. That way you can catch anything unusual right away and protect your money.
The company behind the Hello Ferry service between downtown Vancouver and Nanaimo says it's agreed to return to talks with the BC Ferry and Marine Workers Union. The Vancouver Island Ferry Company says all sailings will proceed as scheduled as it returns to negotiations for a collective agreement with more than 80 unionized ferry workers. Eric McNeely with the BC Ferry and Marine Workers Union says the union has been advocating for better wages, schedules, work-life balance, and job stability. The two sides were at an impasse last week but agreed to resume talks yesterday. Greater Vancouver's Real Estate Board says home sales for the first half of this year appear to indicate the market is recovering, although somewhat slowly. Greater Vancouver realtors say sales rose almost 3% last month compared with August 2024, totaling over 1,900 transactions. Still, the figure remains about 19% lower than the 10-year seasonal average. Andrew Liss, Director of Economics for the board, says it appears buyers looking at more expensive options might re-enter the market. That's all of our news for now. From everyone here at CFTK-TV News, I'm Cael Maslin, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.